To Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Jaguars great Fred Taylor will break down today's game with highlights and analysis. Jaguars Postgame is brought to you by Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by TIAA Bank. Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC, starts right now.
Welcome in. Jaguars post-game final score on Thursday Night Football. Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Fred Taylor back with us next week. Jaguars defense struggles in the second half, could not get off the field. Every drive of the second half, Cincinnati ends up with points, and they rally back from a 14-0 deficit. The Bengals at halftime, Jags led at 14-zip. 24-21 the final, and that's really where this game turned, was right there before halftime, that goal line situation. Then the second half, Bengals come out, boom, touchdown, and the Jags go 3-and-out, and they haven't touched the ball really all in the second half.
Yeah, we talked about it at the half, JP. That was a big momentum situation right there at the end of the half. And look, there's no guarantee the Jags are going to score if they're up under center, but, I mean, just the idea of running the football and dropping back 4 yards as you take the snap to give the Bengals that time to rally to the football didn't make any sense to any of us here on 4th and a half a foot. But it is what it is. The defense, though, two different defenses tonight. I mean, the first half was, equaled kind of what they did last week against Kyler Murray and company, even a more high-flying offense. Even better, though, with the shutout. And then the second half, like you said, I mean, C.J. Uzomah, I get it if Jamar Chase is beating you. He's a top 5 draft pick. Uzomah just destroyed the Jaguars in the second half. Nobody could corral him, Miles Jack included, chasing him seemingly the entire half, and then the big play right there at the end. You almost wonder if they let him go, would he have just instinctively scored there, and then maybe the Jags would have had about a minute to try to come back. But, at the 25-yard line, 20-yard line, you're not going to do that, and they'd already missed a field goal. But, yeah, very incredibly disappointing. This was a game that was as much in hand for any game they've had so far this year. I know they keep knocking on the door, but, again, it's no guarantee that it's going to be that steady week-to-week progression. It has been so far. This was the best overall performance from this football team, but it still came up too short.
The first half, the Jaguars led the way in total yardage, 240 to 107. The end of the game goes 420 to 341 in favor of Cincinnati. Over 300 second-half yards for the Cincinnati Bengals on offense, and they didn't get off the field at all. The Jaguars defense was out there all second half.
Right, and look, they needed them to step up big here because he had two major injuries on the offensive side today. DJ Chark, we found out, fractured his ankle, and a knee injury for A.J. Cann knocked him out of the game pretty early as well. So the defense did a great job in the first half, did everything they should, and, the second half, again, I think Cincinnati came out. I don't know if they made any particular adjustments, if they saw something with Uzomah in the first half, because he was really the go-to guy in some big situations in half number 2. And they really never corralled Tyler Boyd for most of the game. He was the one guy we said who made a couple plays in the first half. They were the only plays of significance that Cincinnati had made. And it seemed like when they needed a big reception, he found a way to find a little bit of a cushion in the Jaguars' defense and convert some first downs.
Let's give the Jaguars offense a little bit of credit in the second half, though. There was that the opening drive for Cincinnati. They got on the board for the first time, cut it to 14-7. Jags go 3-and-out. Don't do much of anything on that drive, of course. And then a 12-play, 86-yard drive for a touchdown to tie the game for Cincinnati. That's when it's like, okay, the momentum's really going the other way. The Jaguars drive down the field, 11 plays, 77 yards, and they get a touchdown from James Robinson of 4 yards away. That was, at least in the way that game was going in the second half, that was a big moment for the Jaguars offense to regain that lead by at least a touchdown.
No question. It was a good drive for Trevor Lawrence, confidence builder, that you're in a situation. That's why you have this guy. You're thinking, hey, man, we're never out of a game, as his career goes on. But, he had a 14-point lead. They squandered that. But you easily, giving up 21 straight, you could be shell-shocked a little bit, led a very impressive touchdown drive. So that is good. Just not enough offense, JP. And now you got to wonder going forward, where is it going to come from? With DJ Chark out for an undetermined period of time, I mean, best case scenario, you're probably talking about a month and a half, 2 months Best case scenario, I have no idea. And then who knows what we'll find out about A.J. Cann as well. The Jags already short on playmakers on the offensive side, down a big one here. Laviska Shenault did step up nicely tonight. Very quiet night for Marvin Jones, and I think, maybe we'll find out that Marvin Jones, when you've got these other threats on the field, he kind of finds those soft spots and zones and what have you, and when they can focus some of their top coverage on him, maybe a bit of a different story.
The Jaguars led this game 14-0 at the halftime break. Final score, Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. Coming up, the first word with head coach Urban Meyer after the game. We'll also get to the Baptist Health locker room report and plenty ahead. We're just getting started after a Thursday night football loss to the Jags. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Hi, I'm Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call Florida Home Air Conditioning, my choice for heating and cooling.
For a limited time, Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old, inefficient HVAC system when we take up to $1,750 off your new heating and cooling system purchase. You get a new, energy-efficient HVAC system for as low as $99 per month and up to $1,750 for your old system.
Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars at Houston, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles. Taunt the other teams in Nashville, New York, and Boston. When you fly nonstop from Duval, on-airport parking will punt the stress from your travel itinerary. Garage facilities offer defensive coverage from the weather and are a 50-yard dash from the terminal. And economy lots are now open at just $6 a day. To learn more about nonstop flights and on-airport parking, visit flyjax.com. Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
Jaguars postgame is presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score in Cincinnati. Bengals rally from a 14-0 halftime deficit and knock off the Jaguars 24-21. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Coming up, the first word with head coach Urban Meyer after the game in Cincinnati. We'll get the Baptist Health locker room report as well. The Jaguars in this ball game had that 14-0 lead. They had a touchdown run of James Robinson early in the game to get a 7-0 advantage after Cincinnati had missed a field goal, so led 7-0. Trevor Lawrence had a touchdown run of 7 yards. And that brings us to the talk about his game today. You know, he mixed in on that drive, that second touchdown drive for the Jaguars. He had runs of 5 yards, 3 yards, and then the 7-yard touchdown run. All were on third down plays. All were out of like the read option, and he found a crease and a hole and kept the sticks moving. So he mixed in some of that again this week, as we saw a little last week through the air, 17 of 24, 204 yards. So what'd you think of Lawrence's day overall?
I thought it was solid. You know, not turning the ball over is a big step in the right direction here, and using his legs more than he has to this point, I think is a positive sign, JP, because I think they're going to have to utilize Trevor Lawrence's mobility more than they have. This team is running out of playmakers. Travis Etienne before the season started. You lose DJ Chark today. Tavon Austin, Dan Arnold, these guys are going to have to get up to speed very quickly. I thought Dan Arnold had a couple of nice plays in the first half. Then we really didn't see him at all in half number 2 here. So, I mean, there's only so much you can do with Laviska Shenault and Marvin Jones Jr. as your really only dependable options in the passing game right now. So I thought under the circumstances, Trevor did a nice job. But at the end of the day, JP, nobody did a good enough job because they didn't win the football game. In the end, 17 out of 24, it's kind of a conservative stat line for Trevor. But again, not turning it over, that was the big step in the right direction for him. They just needed something. They needed one more stop in the second half, or they needed that one touchdown at the end of the first half, and maybe that would have changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, it's really what it comes down to, that second half. The defense did not get off the field at
all.
all.
No.
None at all. All 4 drives ended up in points for the Cincinnati Bengals, 3 touchdowns, and then the field goal at the final gun to end the ball game, 24-21. So, that's another point, too. So you're going to have to find something on defense the first half was fantastic. Second half,
Trevor, can you talk about just offensively tonight? You guys were able to find some sparks from Arnold, Agnew, some guys that kind of stepped up in the role, particularly once DJ went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I thought the guys did a good job. Played a lot of different guys tonight, especially a receiver and tight end. Thought everybody was prepared and made the play when they needed to. So I thought we did a good job on that end. Yeah, thought the guys did a good job stepping up when we lost. Great player in DJ. Obviously, that hurts. Love DJ. It's my guy. So not just because he's a great player, but that sucks just seeing him going through that. But yeah.
Turnover free game this week. How much of a progress point is that for you?
Yeah, it's great. I think obviously when you can control the game like we did in the first half, that's really the key. And really going in, it should have been 21-0. Got stuffed right there on the fourth down on the goal line. But still, controlled the game going into halftime. Second half, I don't think we did a great job on offense of holding on to the ball and eating some clock and just moving it. We had a 3-and-out touchdown drive, and then I think after that we got a couple first downs and then had to punt. So, I thought we played better on offense as far as just cleaned up a bunch of things, just turnovers. I thought I did a good job taking care of the ball. Didn't put the ball in harm's way. I thought I used my legs good. I thought the guys up front killed it, honestly. Run game was really good, especially in the first half. Pass protection was awesome. I don't know if there was any sacks. But it was a holding call, so we ended up getting that back. So did a great job. I mean, we're getting better every week. Obviously, that's heartbreaking, that loss, but we're getting better.
What changed in the second half? Was it something that y'all were not doing that you were able to in the first half, or did they change something on defense?
No, I mean they were pretty much doing the same thing. Like I said, they got the ball and they scored a first drive coming out of halftime. Then we got the ball 3-and-out, and they got it back really quick. So obviously that didn't help us, not playing complimentary football right there. But I just think, like I said, I think we just didn't move it consistently enough. We did make some plays. That one drive where we ended up scoring, made some big plays on 3rd and 4th down conversions, which was good to see. Like I said, I thought we definitely played good enough to win the game, and just hats off to the Bengals, executed that last drive and kicked the game winner. So it's tough. We're growing, we're getting better, learning a lot, but should have won that game.
What did you see on the 50-yarder that you completed to Chenault? How did that play develop?
Yeah, they brought a late pressure off the edge and just kind of felt that and turned it into a scramble. And Laviska did a nice job, working his guy. Saw his back turn, so just give him a chance, and did a nice job adjusting. I thought we made some huge plays at wideout. Everybody did a great job, like you guys said, just stepping up and being ready. So that was great to see.
His catch on the sideline there, that catch. I mean, how big was it to get something from him too?
That was awesome. Ag's a great player. He can do anything. He's so valuable to have. Obviously special teams, but DJ goes down, whatever. We're moving people around, all that stuff. Like whatever the situation is, he's just always ready. He can go in and play anywhere. And you saw that tonight. He impacted the game.
What did you see on your touchdown run? How did that develop for you?
Just a zone read, and I felt like I had a good matchup with the D in there. I did a nice job sealing everybody else off up front, and then that's just something I've done in college a lot, pretty comfortable with, and just got a good feel for it. So I felt confident, go one-on-one with that guy, I can get in.
Did you keep the ball?
No, I think Cam threw it in the stands, so I don't know. Yeah, it's all good.
How much of a difference did it make having Dan Arnold out there tonight?
Oh, he's great. I think he's going to be a huge playmaker for us. Guy that's super smart. I mean, he got here on, I think, Monday, got to Jacksonville, and was ready to play 3 days later. So he's awesome. You know, it's a matchup. He can run, really athletic guy, great hands. Like I said, smart. It's just going to be another weapon for us, and I really like what I've seen from him. And just getting to know him, he seems like an awesome guy. So I'm excited to work with him. Yeah.
Trevor, you're going to sit on this one for 10 days, obviously. That's the bad
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Again, but how much do you balance the sting of it and also kind of getting through this mud and getting better? And how's that locker room doing that day in, day out?
I mean, we'll have to regroup a little bit. This one hurts. Just 14-0 halftime, come back out and just somehow come up on the wrong side of it. That's tough, but we're going to bounce back. I have no doubt. I know what we're made of. Just seeing how we've handled the first 3 weeks. I know nothing's going to change, but damn, I really want to get a win with these guys because we've been working so hard and put ourselves in a position the last 2 weeks. Really, even against the Broncos, had a chance too, and just got to finish. It's collectively, it's everybody. It's not one side of the ball or anything like that. It's just all of us finishing, and we're getting there. I'm not even going to say it's going to take time. Whatever. We're right there, and you guys have seen it the last few weeks, and I have no doubt. But this hurts for sure because you work so hard and play primetime Thursday night game. Feel like you have it won, and then they go out there and hit the game winner. So it happens, but we're gonna keep working.
Trevor, this is back-to-back weeks. You have faced other number 1 overall picks quarterback. Have you got to talk to them, to Kyler and to Joe, and what advice do they have for you?
I talked to Joe for a second. I didn't talk to Kyler. I didn't see him after the game. I talked to Joe, and he just said, it's going to get better. Just hang in there. Told me good game. Just, pretty general stuff. But it was cool for him just to come find me and tell me that after the game. So I appreciated that. But, yeah, just right there. I'm still sorry. I'm just frustrated,
Were you politicking or urging Urban to go for it on that 4th down there at the end of the first half? Or was that always kind of going to be the call anyway?
On the goal line?
Yeah.
No, I mean that was just the call, and even there, we're close to making that play. That was the call. We all felt good with it. It's something we had repped all week, and they made a good play. So that happens, but no, we were all on the same page.
Thanks, Trevor.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Head coach Urban Meyer joining us. The first word with the Jaguars head coach after the game in Cincinnati. We're back in a moment. Plenty more ahead. We've got the highlights. We'll pick the player of the game. We're just getting started. The final score, 24-21, Bengals over the Jaguars in Week 4 on Thursday Night Football. And this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works.
Out of your defense in the second half, in your opinion, what changed in terms of why it was so hard to stop them in the second half?
Yeah, played well in the first half, obviously, but the combination of run, they were running the ball pretty good on in the third quarter, and then we tightened up against the run, and then they had matchup advantages they felt in the man coverage, and then zone coverage is picking us apart, and then caught us in a zero blitz. So it was obviously the same thing that you saw, that they ran the ball. We're up 14-0, and they go right down the field, hit a deep ball on Tyson, and then, but they were running the ball, and then they came back and just picked us apart throwing the ball. Tough one. Yeah, I don't know the extent. I heard it's a broken ankle, and he's starting to play well, and that's a big one. And then A.J. Cam, we don't know the extent, but it's MCL, and we're not sure the extent of the knee injury.
The
those you lose 2 starters and you're still in a position to win that game. You still play pretty well in that first half. Frustrating. How frustrating is that?
That's devastating, heartbreaking. These guys. Usually I'm not wrong about stuff like that. That I just see a good team in there. I see good guys, and I see good hearts. I see guys at work, and I told them I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong about that stuff. This team's going to win some games.
Can you talk about how good the throws Trevor made to Chenault for the 50-yarder and to Jamal Agnew for the 27-yarder, and the plays that those 2 receivers made catching the ball?
Yeah, a couple of 4th downs, I think 1 or 2 4th downs, and I thought Trevor played really well. I thought obviously his best game, took care of the ball, right? Was there a turnover? Did we have a turnover? Gosh. But yeah, I thought he played great. He's coming alive, and I just like the way love everything about that guy.
Urban, was there no doubt you guys going for it on 4th down there before the half?
Yeah, there's no doubt. No doubt.
Did he just a good play by the defender there?
I couldn't tell. Obviously, I'll let you know next week after we watch it. But you're that close to it.
Do you still feel pretty good going in, even though you missed that opportunity? Obviously, at 14.
Well, I felt like our defense was, they kept our defense was playing so well, and then our offense, we felt like we were blocking them. James was running the ball, our offense line was pushing, controlling the line of scrimmage. That's a good sign. That's usually win those games. You take care of the ball, and Trevor, your quarterbacks, getting those first downs, and yeah, I felt really good.
You've been bothered by all the losses, obviously, but it seems like is this one more frustrating for you just because you guys were right there on the cusp?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I thought that's a heartbroken locker room, so we got to get them back. They get a few days off, and then obviously get ready for the Titans. But they're good people in that locker room, though.
Talk about the pressure you put on Burrow in the first half. You put a lot of pressure on. What happened in the second half?
I'm sorry, I can't remember. Did we? My head's spinning right now, so I apologize.
Pressure. You put a lot of pressure. It looked like he was forced to do a lot of things out of the pocket. And he was asking you, like, what would it do?
Yeah, he gets the ball out quickly, and it's the second half. A lot of the balls were out quick. They were doing a lot of quick game. First half, we did put up some pressure on them. And then I thought we were off the field, and they called that holding on the I didn't see that yet, but our GM told me he saw it. So I think that was on a sack, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Urban, does it feel like there's still a couple of pieces missing, or do you feel like you just need a couple of breaks to go your way?
There's no breaks. You got to make your own breaks. I'm not being disrespectful, but you don't look at it that way that you get breaks. You create your own breaks, and I've said this from day one is that the core of this team are good players, and I thought we brought in some good players, and we're getting better each week. We are getting better each week. Just sickening that you didn't win that thing. But like I told you, I'm not wrong about that. I'm not wrong about those guys in that room, and they're gonna keep swinging as hard as they possibly can.
Last time, Urban trying to do some stuff to get turnovers on defense. I mean, what
did we?
No. Well, what can you do to kind of make that happen?
That was an emphasis all the way through. It's not happening. It's turnovers are created by pressuring the quarterback. It's created by getting a bunch of hats on the ball and stepping in front of the some passes. I mean, it's emphasis is there. It's just that has to. We all know that has to happen. That we're I think -8 for the year. And that's got to change.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That went for 30 or so yards, but beyond that, the Jaguars' defense was fantastic in the first half, and we'll call that the defensive play of the game because the second half was not. They didn't get off the field.
There wasn't one specific play in that first half, but they had 2 3-and-outs, a 4-and-out, and really, if Tyler Boyd was late to the game by 30 minutes, I mean, they might have had nothing but 3-and-outs in the first half.
Let's get to the highlights from this one, and the Jaguars got it going early after a Cincinnati missed field goal. Evan McPherson missed from 43 yards. The Jaguars' ensuing drive goes 8 plays, 67 yards in just under 4 minutes. And James Robinson in from 6 yards away.
Running play, James Robinson. James cuts back to the middle of the field and scores. A 6-yard touchdown run by James Robinson in Jacksonville. Strikes first.
7-zip the score. Feeling pretty good at that point. Cincinnati 3 and out. Jaguars can't do much with it. Next couple of possessions, both sides have to punt. The Jaguars back on offense, though. This is the Trevor Lawrence third down drive. He had runs of 5 yards, 3 yards, and 7 yards for a touchdown, all on third down, including this score.
Play fake. Lawrence keeps it. Made a man miss. Dives toward the end zone. Touchdown! Trevor ran it in himself, and the Jags have extended the lead in Cincinnati.
14-0 at that point, and the drive we were talking about, right, just before halftime, they get down to the 1-yard line. They get a big play to Chenault to 50 yards. Get down close. They're down to the 1. It's 4th down. And they decide to run with Lawrence, and they're stopped short. 14-0, the halftime score. Bengals get the ball to open the second half, and they march down the field 4 plays in just under 2 minutes. Uzama, the tight end, one of many plays he made today, this from 22.
Play fake. Rolling. Got a man wide open. That's his tight end, has it at the 10-yard line. Made a man miss for the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown. Wide open was CJ Uzoma, and he's going to have a touchdown of 22 yards.
22-yarder, 14-7 at that point. Jags go 3 and out quickly, and then a methodical, clock-churning, yard-burning drive, 12 plays, 86 yards in 6.5 minutes, and Mixon in from a yard out.
They hand it to Mixon. He's in this time. Fumbles into the end zone.
That was after the sneak for Joe Burrow was overturned. The extra point good, tied the game 14-14. A big drive for the Jags offense coming back out of that, though. They answered in a big way at that point. They go 11 plays, 77 yards in just under 6 minutes, and Robinson in from 4 yards.
Hand off to James Robinson. Tries the left side. Lowers his shoulder, reaches for the goal line. They're going to call him down at about the half-yard line. How many times have we seen that? Maybe the 1-yard line.
I think he ran through the safety, Von Bell, and got in the end zone. And looking at the replay right now, that's a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. They reviewed it, overturned it. Touchdown Jaguars, extra point good, 21-14. Jags led it. The Jags defense just couldn't get off the field. The ensuing drive, 10 plays, 75 yards in 5.5 minutes. Uzama again, this time from 31.
Burrow drops, looks, pump fakes, now scrambles around, rolls to his left, flag comes down, fires, that ball is going to be caught. Uzama makes the catch, he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
21-21 tie game at that point. Jaguars have to punt, and it goes back to the Cincinnati Bengals. There's a defensive holding on a key sack on that drive that kept the drive alive. 10 plays, 73 yards in just over 5.5 minutes, and McPherson with a game winner with 4 seconds to go.
Huber gets it down, McPherson kicks it up, and the field goal is good, and the Bengals have beaten the Jaguars 24-21.
No time left on the clock. Final gun field goal for McPherson. 24-21 the final. That's how it sounded tonight on Jaguars Radio. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. A TIAA Bank stats check when we come back. It's Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa Debit Card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That sound is every driver's worst fear. How much will the repairs cost? Is it your engine, your transmission, or worse? A car breakdown could cost you thousands to repair, but not if you have CarShield. CarShield administrators pay your claims directly to the mechanic or dealer of your choice, saving you time and money. Call CarShield today before your next breakdown. Call 800-471-1223, 800-471-1223.
Welcome back. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Final score, Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Glad you're along with us. The Jags have dropped now their 19th consecutive game with a loss today when they led 14-0 at halftime. Cincinnati scores 24 in the second half to win it, including a field goal at the final gun. 24-21 the final. Time now for a TIAA Bank stats check. TIAA Bank, turn potential into progress. We start with the team stats, and as we've said earlier, Mike, this is a first half, second half game, really. The Jaguars dominated statistically in the first half. They had outgained Cincinnati 240-107 in the first half. They had 15 first downs to 4 over Cincinnati in the first half. Rushing yards was 115-18 in favor of the Jaguars. Well, in the second half, you can tell by the totals of the game how it went for Cincinnati. They finished, the Bengals, leading the way in total yardage, 420-341. Both teams were tied with 21 first downs in the game. The Bengals 5 of 9 on third down for the evening, 6 of 12 for the Jaguars. Rushing yards, 139 on the ground for the Jags. A lot of that in the first half, as we just mentioned, 115 of those 139 in the first half. 78 rushing yards for the game for the Bengals. Passing net, 342 through the air for Cincinnati, 202 for the Jags. The Jags were only penalized twice for 10 yards. They had some other flags picked up and negated. 6 penalties, 38 yards for the Bengals. Time of possession, 31 minutes, 15 seconds in favor of Cincinnati, and obviously most of that in the second half of this game. This was, there's a 12-play drive at 6.5 minutes. There's a 10-play drive, 5.5 minutes. Another 10-play drive, 5.5 minutes. That is a long time on the field for the Jags defense in the second half.
Yeah, if I heard you right, about 300 yards of offense in the second half. That's
a little over. Yep.
Awful. That's just absolutely unacceptable. Individually, you go inside it. Joe Burrow accounted for 348 yards passing with a couple of touchdowns through the air. Was sacked once, had a quarterback rating of 132.8. You wouldn't have believed that was possible at the half the way they were playing. Trevor Lawrence, on his part, went 17-24, 204 yards.
Early, you guys weren't able to slow him down much.
Man. It's hard right now. I'm still kind of reflecting on everything myself. So, second half, we just got to step up and do our job, stop them, get the ball back to the offense, really. So.
What's the emotions for you? You felt the effort that you guys played was good enough to win, and just what's the effort of not getting that?
It's a hard one to swallow because, when you go out and fight a hard game like that, you expect to walk away to win, not an L. But, walking around with the L, we got to swallow that pill. Digest the film. And go back to work. That's all we could do. And, just keep on working at it.
Coach Meyer keeps saying, we're so close and we're getting better each week. Do you feel that, and how close are you guys right now?
Definitely. We one or two plays away. The whole locker room knows it. We feel it every game we walk away. That's the sad point about it all. It's like, we know where we're at as a team. We feel how we feel when we're playing and stuff like that. And you walk away with an L, and it's kind of like, thing, we should be sitting on the other side of this thing right now, but it is what it is, and we just, like I said, got to go back to work at this point.
What can you guys do to force more turnovers? It's got to one this year.
We just keep on attacking the ball. During the game, just keep on going after the ball, and make those opportunities whenever they come up.
What were you guys doing right early against Joe Mixon?
But playing our technique, playing our keys, you know what I mean, doing what we're supposed to do, and, you know what I mean, and then I started letting them a little loose like towards the end, so not what we wanted in the end, so, but like I said, I sound repetitive, but we could just get back to work right now, so go back to the run game, go back to the pass game, go back to the whole defensive game, so.
What was it like, I mean, you get the sack, and then you obviously you look down and there's a flag. You look like you got the play to get off the field.
Yeah, no, I mean, you get those plays and you turn around. I mean, it's kind of like that you got amnesia at that point. You got to forget about it, and you got to move on to the next play. And I mean, yeah, it was good momentum, but then things happen. So you got to be able to roll with the punches and, you know, get back up on the horse and ride.
Losing obviously stinks. How's this team doing with that part of it every day, kind of coming back in? And you got to sit on this one for a bit now.
I mean, like she just said, the whole team feels, you know what I mean, how the team feels. Like, we just feel like we're working hard every game. We're playing every game hard. Like I said, we're 1 or 2 plays away. So it's not hard for us to go back to work when we know we're right there on the edge of it. Like, we're right on there ready to flip the switch and take this thing to a whole nother different way. So, I mean, like I said, we could have walked away. All 4 of these first teams said the same thing. We could have been on the other side of all these, but it's that one little step, that one little thing that we're missing. So, like I said, we just go back to work, and when that shit hit, it's going to hit, and we're going to take off running, you know what I mean?
Did it feel like they were doing anything different in the second half, or was it just a matter of execution?
I mean, a little bit of focus, execution, things like that. You know, we just got to stay locked in 60 minutes and play a complete game. I mean, it's not called a quarter of a game or half of a game, or you know what I mean? It's called a full game, so we just got to go out and play a full game.
All right, thank you. That'll be a big rest. How do you get back?
Home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
Welcome back. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Final score in Week 4 on Thursday Night Football. Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. Jags led 14-zip at the halftime break. And then the Bengals score on all 4 of their second-half possessions and win the ball game on a final gun field goal. 24-21 the final score. Time now for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Tony Smith gets a vote and a half to break any deadlocks tonight in lieu of Fred Taylor. Mike, how about you get us started tonight?
I will, and I think I know the way this is going to go, but I'm not going to go the way you probably expect me to go with this one here. And I mean, there's certainly a couple of standout performances, but I'm going to give my vote to Laviska Shenault. And here's why. I think Laviska's role probably expanded after kickoff. You know what I mean? Like, I think with DJ Chark in there, they're going to take some shots to Chark down the field. Laviska, I think, took more on his shoulders, had the big 52-yard reception, which set up what should have been a score to expand that lead late in the half. He caught 6 balls for 99 yards, and really nobody was doing anything in the receiving game. Nobody else for the Jaguars had more than 29 receiving yards. That was Dan Arnold, newly acquired, on 2 receptions tonight. So as strong as James Robinson ran, and more votes to come here, I will give my nod to Laviska Shenault tonight.
Boy, that's a good one. It's hard to argue against that with all the things you said there, because it was going to change anyway going in with the running game with Robinson, and Carlos Hyde's not available. What are they going to do there? Shenault actually got a carry tonight, as did Agnew on an end around. Ogunbowale had to go in there a couple of times. So they're trying to figure all that out. I think I'm going to go with you and just go ahead and make this
boxing out Tony.
Pretty easy. Yeah, we're boxing out Tony Smith. Sorry, Tony. But Shenault was really, really good in this game. 6 catches, 99 yards, the 1 carry. How do they work that in as it goes along this year now? If Chark's out for an extended period, which it sounds like he might be, they're going to have to find that kind of thing. And they've been doing a lot of that wide receiver screen type stuff with him, getting it out in the flat, and just hasn't been able to break one long in that scenario yet let's see if this goes along, if he can kind of find his groove. Tony, what do you think?
Yeah, my vote would be for James Robinson. He did score 2 touchdowns tonight. I would like to mention, though, Jamal Agnew allowed to be a part of the game plan in the offense for the first time tonight, and had the big play downfield, had the one end around where he got the first down on that play as well. So it's not like he's getting any kind of volume in the Jaguars offense, but now with DJ Chark out, they're going to have to look even further down the bench to figure out how are we going to replace the guys we're losing at this point.
So here's the thing on James Robinson, too. At halftime, he had 12 carries for 64 yards and 1 touchdown, a 5.3 average. That was in the first half of the game. He finishes the game with 18 carries, 78 yards. Only touched the ball, 6 more times?
I think that's part of that is that, I think in the first half they had him a little off balance with Trevor Lawrence running it as much as he did, and they weren't
especially on
quite
the third
sure.
downs and all that.
And that certainly helped out James Robinson. By the way, I thought James Robinson would win the vote. I really did, and I would have no problem if he was the Jaguar Radio Network player of the game. He did score twice, but those are somewhat happenstance. I mean, 110 total yards for Laviska tonight was big. And look, I think in terms of the Jamal Agnew point, they may just have to throw caution to the wind here and say we need some playmakers.
Kitchen sink now. Let's
right?
go.
I mean, whomever that happens to be, Tavon Austin, Dan Arnold, somebody. I'm not saying they're the same type of player, but somebody's going to have to give them something here because you lose your biggest downfield speed threat that you had. Not really your top 2 speed threats, what you thought with Travis Etienne before the season started. Now DJ Chark. It was good to see Viska make that play down the field. It wasn't one of those catch it, break a couple of jaws with his running style and outrace a bunch of guys. It was he got downfield, was able to make a deep ball reception. Somebody's gonna have to step up in that role. Don't know who it's going to be, but Viska did a little bit of that tonight.
There you have it. The Jaguars Radio Network player of the game, Laviska Shenault, is the winner tonight. 7 targets, 6 catches, 99 yards. He also had a carry in the game, but an honorable mention to James Robinson, 18 carries, 78 yards, and a couple of scores for the Jags. And this one, final score 24-21, Bengals over the Jaguars. We're back in a moment with the Baptist Health Injury Report. Some unfortunate ones to go through today, and a loss for the Jaguars in week number 4. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Brooks Rehabilitation is looking for exceptional nurses who want to work where miracles happen. They're hiring for RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home healthcare settings. Brooks nurses serve as leaders, advocates, change agents, and care coordinators for their patients. They offer flexible schedules, career advancements, and continuing education, competitive pay, plus bonuses, shift premiums, and sign-on bonuses. Apply now at brooksrehab.org/nursecareers.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets. Undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
We all want to look and feel our best, so why not take the next step with a consultation with Dr. Patrick Basil, board-certified plastic surgeon. Offering a variety of wellness, skincare, and aesthetic treatment options, you can look better, feel more confident, and transform into your best self. They offer the most advanced, innovative treatments in a modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more at transformjax.com. That's transformjax.com or call 904-222-6262.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Final score, Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Thursday night football in the books, and it's time now for the Baptist Health Injury Report. Baptist Health changing health care for good, and there are some names on it tonight after the game. DJ Chark on the opening drive of the game rolled up on from behind or on the side. Left leg injury, was carted off, and reports now confirmed apparently in the post-game press conference by Urban Meyer that it is a fractured ankle. And no timetable certainly yet on Chark if and when he can return this season in a contract year for DJ Chark, too. That's the thing about it. And it just had not been on the field a lot in training camp. He had the fractured finger then, the hairline fracture that kept him out. He's just having a little bit of a struggle to start the season statistically and finding a groove with the quarterback and the offense, and then in a running play, gets run up from behind today, and just an awful scene.
Oh, it is. And, I mean, it's awful for DJ. Who knows how the game would have gone had he been out there. But, look, the Bengals are not going to feel sorry for the Jags, nor should they. They were without some key players of their own. But, once you go into a game expecting to have a certain player available, he's part of the game plan, who knows how they had to adapt to that, JP. It's just where's the answer going to come from in terms of a field-stretching threat here? Philip Dorsett, who has been on and off the Jaguars practice squad, now signed with Seattle on their practice squad. Right. So that's another option out the door. So hopefully Tavon Austin can give him a spark when he gets fully up to speed. Barely saw the field tonight. And, I think you're going to see an offense now that is going to see stacked boxes against James Robinson, just like you did last year. Even with the big-armed quarterback here, I don't know if he's got the weapons to stretch the field to make those defenses play James Robinson honestly now.
Yeah, you can have the strong-arm quarterback all day, but the guys still have to be open to be able to do that and have some separation. And so that's one of the unfortunate ones today. And A.J. Cann in the second quarter, a knee issue. He was carted back to the locker room. No further word that I've seen, at least, on Cann's situation, but hearing Urban Meyer tell us just a few minutes ago, it sounds like Barch will get some run moving ahead.
Right. I mean, the way he put it, Barch will be playing there. So we don't know how definitive that is in terms of the length of that. But I'll say this, I'm as much as A.J. Cann has been a good player, good, solid player, I'm not as nearly concerned about that one. I think the offensive line did a pretty good job once again tonight. Trevor Lawrence was sacked once, and the average, even knowing that it was coming in the second half and they held James Robinson down, he still averaged 4.3 yards a carry on the night when, again, your top deep threat is taken out of the offense. So I thought the O-line was solid again, and I think Ben Barch will do fine from what I've seen to this point. And I don't know, JP, just to go back to it quickly, maybe it's Tyron Johnson that's got to take on a big role. He's got the speed to do it, right? He certainly hasn't shown that consistency. They haven't trusted him enough to use him that much, but they're running out of options quickly here.
Right. And just think about all these guys are fairly new to the organization. It's not like a lot of these players were not around all off season. A lot of these guys came in training camp, like Tavon Austin and Johnson that you just mentioned there. Hollister just last week.
Dan
right?
Arnold,
I mean, Arnold
a
just
couple days
2
ago,
days ago.
And had a couple of first down receptions
Right.
in the first half.
So it's new face, but that might be what this is this year. As the season goes along, you claim a guy, maybe you go poach somebody off a practice squad, whatever the case is. If it go, we're only in week 4. If things happen to continue at this pace, at least with injuries, you don't want it to. You're going to see a lot of new faces going through that revolving door.
This is the NFL again, and you've got to adjust on the fly. But it's a shame for Trevor Lawrence trying to get some semblance of chemistry built and some regularity to go out there and say, hey, I work with these guys, and you see it clicking in practice, and let's take it to the next level. And at least one of those options out for likely a significant amount of time.
So there you have it, the Baptist Health Injury Report. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. And the Jaguars Game Day radio broadcast is presented by ViStar Credit Union. We're back in a moment, and we'll preview next week's matchup for the Jaguars back home against the division rival Tennessee Titans. And this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
Jaguars fans, let's team up to make a difference with Selfies for Change. For every home game at TIAA Bank Field this season, your game day selfie with a Jaguars player can unlock a donation to the Jaguars Foundation in support of a good cause. Visit jaguars.com/selfies for change to learn more about the impact of your photo and to locate a selfie kiosk at TIAA Bank Field. TIAA Bank is the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars, member FDIC.
Final moments of Jaguars postgame. Final score, 24-21. The Bengals over the Jaguars in Week 4 on Thursday Night Football. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Our final thoughts as we head into a mini bye weekend. The Jags have gotten through the first 4 games, 0-4, and they've now dropped 19 consecutive games as a franchise. Trying to snap that next week, and it's a little bit of a tough matchup, obviously. The Jaguars next week are back home to face the Tennessee Titans, a team at the top of the AFC South. The Titans have that outstanding run game. We know that firsthand. The Titans coming up this week will have a matchup against the New York Jets in New York. The Jets are 0-3 to start the season. The Titans at 2-1.
Yeah, if you don't corral Derrick Henry, it's over, right? I mean, we've seen him practically single-handedly beat this team at times in the past. A couple of things, though, that could work in the Jaguars' favor as A.J. Brown is considered week to week, which could, with a hamstring, certainly doesn't look like he's playing this week. Maybe Julio Jones doesn't either. So we don't know if those guys are going to be completely healthy. But Tennessee can be had with their secondary. But, again, that feeds right into the issue with DJ Chark not here. You've got one less guy to exploit that. So it's going to be tough, man. Look, again, no one's going to feel sorry for the Jags. Or everyone's going to come in here. Tennessee's going to roll in expecting to own this team because they've done that in recent history. And I just, hopefully a few days off for this team, they can get in a good mental space. I think that's the toughest thing, JP, as Urban Meyer said after the game. Devastating loss. You can imagine what that locker room was like. You've been in there after a game when a team feels like they let one get away that they should have won, and I think most of us feel that is exactly what happened tonight.
So the final score again here tonight at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. The Bengals rally with 24 second-half points after trailing 14-0 at halftime. Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. The Jaguars host the Tennessee Titans at 1 o'clock next Sunday here at TIAA Bank Field. For those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is coming up next, featuring NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks. We'll take your calls for the next hour or so. Senior VP is Chad Johnson. VP of Production is Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Brent Reber, Trent Padilla produce our video for Jaguars.com. For Mike Dempsey and our entire crew, this is JP Shadrick saying good night. Final score for the final time, Bengals 24, Jaguars 21 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
It's time for the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks are ready for you to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah & Farah, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome in the Scoreboard Show. Final score, Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks coming up. NFL Network analyst will join us. We'll take your calls, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. The number will be here until about, that'd be 1:15 or so. So a little under an hour to take your calls after this one. And, boy, there's a lot to talk about here. This was a tale of two halves, if you've ever seen it. Jaguars led 14-zip at halftime. Could have been 3 scores. Could have been 17. Probably should have been 21. Instead, it was 14. And then the Bengals take the opening drive of the second half and the next 3 drives. Every possession they scored and scored 24 second-half points to win.
Yeah, that again, the play at the end of the half is one that's going to haunt them. I have no problem. Look, I wouldn't have had a problem if they decided to kick it and go up 3 scores. That would have been fine. Certainly, as we all sat here and discussed it as it was unfolding, we all agreed, hey, go for it here. You're playing great defense. You're going to pin them back at worst, but we just wanted a more aggressive play call that you've got it 6 inches away from the goal line. Let your 6'6" quarterback just reach it across or turn around and hand it to James Robinson, who in the first half was picking up over 5 yards a clip. And instead, they allowed Cincinnati to penetrate because they put Trevor Lawrence in the shotgun and tried to run some kind of option play out to the right side. And look, if it works, it's great. But if it doesn't, you got guys like us questioning, how can you allow that defense to get penetration on that play before the play even gets started when you're 6 inches away from pay dirt and you've been running it down their throat the whole first half?
NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks joining us from Los Angeles, California now, and I'm sure you'll have some thoughts about that sequence right before halftime, Buck.
You think? Look, man, it's one of those situations, JP, at the moment. I'm looking at it, it's 14-0. The Jaguars have controlled the first half. And then we get to the point where it's 4th down. And immediately, because I'm doing the rehearsal, I got Daniel Jeremiah on my left and Joy Taylor on my right. And I was like, you got to keep the field goal. Like, as much as you want to knock them out at that moment, you want to kick the field goal because you want to go up by 3 scores. You want to go up by 3 scores because the pressure on the Bengals with 3 scores is different than a 2-score game. 2-score game, just like we saw, they come out, they score, and now it's 14-7, and it's a different ball game. 17-7 just has a different feel to it. It changes the way that you call plays. It changes the way that everything occurs. And for a team who hasn't won a game in a long time, what you're trying to do is you're trying to stack up enough points because you know that the game is going to be fast and furious in the fourth quarter. You're trying to build a lead. I appreciate daring and being a gambler and all those other things. But in that moment, when your team is playing so well, go into the half with a 17-0 lead so they feel great about the situation because, look, man, big plays happen. And so to me, I just felt like the game turned at that moment when you had a chance to kind of put some space in between yourself.
Yeah, and Bucky, I don't think any of us would have argued with you if they decided to kick that and go up 17. Once they make that decision to go for it there, how do you not have Trevor Lawrence up under center? The way you're running the ball, the way he's running the ball in the first half, that's the thing that has killed us here is that you allowed Cincinnati time to get into the backfield and, make a play. He had no option on the pitch there to James Robinson. They cut that off, and it just seemed to me you got a 6'6" quarterback, man. All he has to do is reach it forward half a foot, and you're going to get a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a half a yard. A half a yard at that moment. You're right. I'm not a big fan of shotgun football down there. And then the play is one thing, right? Because ultimately in that moment it's players, not plays, right? You want the ball in the hands of your best player. That said, was there any consideration to give the ball to James Robinson the way he had been running the first half? The line had been dominated at the point of attack. He had shown some patience early in the game. He had scored down in the red zone, in the tight red zone. So why not put the ball in his hands? There are a few different ways that you could have gone, but in that moment, I wasn't in love with the decision nor the play call.
Bucky, and then in the second half, the defense did not get off the field. They had a moment there on the final drive where there was a sack, but a defensive holding got them off the hook, and they stayed on the field. The defense wasn't able to stop them in the second half. What happened?
Well, a few different things happened. One, right now, there's a term that we use in football called "Where's Waldo?" Right? And Waldo signifies the player that might be the weak link, the guy that you can pick on, particularly in the passing game. Tyson Campbell is that guy. Whenever they saw Jamar Chase on Tyson Campbell, Joe Burrow raised up and threw the ball to Jamar Chase, because the issue that has continued to plague Tyson Campbell is Tyson Campbell cannot play the ball in the air. He can be in perfect location, but when the ball is up, he can't finish. And so because of that, in those one-on-one situations, particularly with an outstanding 50-50 ball catcher like Jamar Chase, he is at a disadvantage. First series of the second half, immediately they see one-on-one, throw a fade down the boundary, 44-yard play to Jamar Chase, juices up the stadium and gives their offense some life. Early in the game, we saw similar things where Tyson Campbell is in great position, but the ball is up. He can't find it. Same issues that plagued them in the preseason, same issues that plagued them at Georgia. That is one thing. The second thing, the Bengals, give them credit. Zach Taylor did a great job of mixing up his personnel packages. They would go empty formation. The reason why empty formation is so complex and complicated for the defense is, depending on the personnel that you have on the field, you now allow Joe Burrow to see what the coverage is. If they were putting the tight end and the running backs outside of the three receivers. So now if Joe Burrow looks up and sees Miles Jack on the outside, he knows he has man-to-man. He then changes the play to crossing routes and man beaters, and they have their way. If he sees zone where the linebackers are inside, they now run those option routes over and over and over again. Tyler Boyd working against Damon Wilson or Miles Jack, and he's just, hey, Miles Jack on the inside, I turn outside. He's outside, I turn inside, and they're just hitting you with nickels and dimes. Then in the running game, they're going heavy personnel and just running at you. So Joe Cullen was stuck because he didn't want his guys to be in man coverage, but they're just paper cutting them to death with the small packets. He got impatient. He dials up a cover zero blitz. They call the perfect call against an tonal screen. A big play. And so it's one of those things, you're darn if you do, you're darn if you don't. They had him in a bind, and then they also were mixing in tempo. It just makes it hard to get it off the field unless someone's going to make a play.
There you have it. Well, we've got plenty ahead, plenty of time to dissect this one a little bit more. Final score 24-21. Phone lines are open, 904-355-NFL1, 355-6351. We're here until about 1:15 Eastern Time. Recapping this one, it's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
We all want to look and feel our best, so why not take the next step with a consultation with Dr. Patrick Basil, board-certified plastic surgeon. Offering a variety of wellness, skincare, and aesthetic treatment options, you can look better, feel more confident, and transform into your best self. They offer the most advanced, innovative treatments in a modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more at TransformJax.com. That's TransformJax.com or call 904-222-6262.
This is Ice-T, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
Matty Ice.
This is a cold call.
I convinced NFL teams to turn to cold water washing with Tide.
The NFL, your uniforms get dirty.
Tide can handle it, even in cold. Plus, if fans join in, they can save up to $150 on their energy bill.
Looks like you just made the team, rookie. Turn to cold with Tide. And that's the bottom line.
It's got to be Tide. Energy savings based on average when switching from hot to cold and non-HE machines.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks. Final score 24-21. Bengals over the Jaguars in week number 4 on Thursday Night Football. 355 NFL 1, the number 355-6351. Well, Bucky, I thought James Robinson, when in the first half especially, they ran the football pretty well, and they just didn't have a chance to really get to it in the second half. A couple of touchdown runs today for J-Rob. Carlos Hyde was a late scratch, apparently a shoulder issue when he showed up at the yard today, so it was Robinson's game pretty much. They ran some other kind of gadgety things today. Jamal Agnew got a run around in. Chenault got a run, so they were trying to mix it in somehow today in the run game.
Look, I like the way the game plan looked for the most part. Like, this was a very balanced attack. They were able to run the football. James Robinson got a ton of touches. And I think the one thing that we should realize and appreciate about James Robinson, he might not break off the big game, but it's steady Eddie production. And the steady production allows you to stay on schedule. It takes some of the pressure off Trevor Lawrence. And the offense really flowed really well. I thought the offensive line did a really good job, particularly in the first half, of dominating and controlling the trenches. For Trevor Lawrence, I thought this was by far his best game, not necessarily because of the numbers, but the approach. Trevor Lawrence was patient. He was decisive. He took the layups and the gimmies that were available. He didn't push the ball down the field unnecessarily, but when he had an opportunity to make some plays down the field, he did it. The throw on the deep over to Jamal Agnew, that is what we call a franchise quarterback throw. Like, that is why every game your franchise quarterback should show you once or twice a game, like, oh, okay, yeah, this is why we believe in him. That throw on the deep over was one of those throws. Also, the throw to Laviska Shenault down the field, that was another. Trevor Lawrence looked big time tonight. It's just unfortunate that the Jaguars did so many good things that they don't walk out of the stadium with the win to kind of build up their confidence.
And, Bucky, before we get to these phone lines, you talk about driving the ball down the field to Laviska. He's going to have to step up. Some others are going to have to. The absence of DJ Chark now going forward, I mean, that could be a big blow in the game to absorb. I thought Viska stepped up and did a nice job, but how do they stretch the field? Is it more Jamal Agnew in the base offense? Do we get Tavon Austin in the mix here? How are they going to be able to make defenses respect them down the field?
Hey, Jim, that's a hard one. It's really a hard one because here's the thing. As much as I like what Jamal Agnew was able to add, catching the deep over, even Tavon Austin in terms of like what they're able to do with the ball in their hands, they're not the guys that are going to make defensive coordinators stay up at night trying to figure out how to game plan for them. The Jaguars need a legitimate threat on the outside that can make defenses back up, remove the safety from the box. Right now, they don't have that. So I don't know what the plan going forward will be. Even if you elevate those that are on the practice squad and those things, it's not anyone that's going to change coverage until they make a handful of plays in multiple games to dictate it. So this is one where the field is going to shrink on Trevor Lawrence, and I just don't know how they handle it. At least they have 10 days to figure it out, but this is going to be Darrell Bevell really trying to script it, scheming and trying to come up with some different ways to create explosive plays. But right now, I don't know if there are enough players with explosive ability to deliver those big plays.
Yep, that seems to be the issue at the moment. All right, with Bucky Brooks, Mike Dempsey, and JP Shadrick here with you on the Scoreboard Show. Let's go out to Ponte Vedra for the first call of the night. Thomas getting in here at 355 NFL 1. Thomas, you're on with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? I've been watching this team my whole life, and I've noticed with DJ Chark going down, we've really struggled in the past to stretch the field, and it's really been an issue. He's our speed guy. And I was kind of wondering, are we going to maybe make a trade or something for someone, or bring someone off the street, maybe like a Tim Tebow, someone to get the job done on that end to really just like get the defense on its heels, because without DJ, it's going to be a real tough time for Trevor throwing it.
Appreciate the call.
I wish you could have seen Bucky and I at the same exact time, had the same exact look on our face, like, what are you talking
Just stop
about?
typing for a second. What is going on? No, but I mean, it's what it is at this point.
Yeah, the field stretcher with Tebow, that's the part that threw me off. That he's not stretching the field.
No.
It's tough because even if you make a move, how quickly can someone assimilate into the offense? How quickly can they learn the playbook enough to be an effective option? Then you have to look around and see who is available, and of the people that could be available, are they long-term options? Meaning that we're going to trade a relatively decent pick to bring over a decent player, because you're not going to get anybody of substance for a 7th-round pick or anything like that. Like, you have to trade a valuable draft chip to get a player. And I just don't know who is out there dangling right now, but it has to be someone of substance. It also has to be someone that you really like beyond 2021. It has to be someone that has staying power.
Yeah, and we were discussing it earlier, Buck. Philip Dorsett, who they thought might be a field stretcher for this team, just got picked up by Seattle today, signed to their practice squad, so he's not an option, right? Colin Johnson got called up from the Giants practice squad onto the active roster. Not that he's necessarily that exact guy, but he's a guy who is in your system this offseason. So some of the options that might have been lingering out there just a week ago even not available to you right now. So 355 NFL 1, let's go back to the phones with Kevin in Savannah next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, guys. Awful evening. The injury to DJ Chark is awful. I mean, I feel bad for the guy, but it's a godsend for Bevell because, I mean, he's had 7 catches in 3 games. The loss of Bevell is not of Chark is not going to be a major factor because he wasn't used anyway correctly. The offensive coordinator you can tell by the first 3 games that he's been totally outclassed by the other offensive coordinators on the other team. In fact, you can go into the preseason. Defensively is a joke. Miles Jack is supposed to be the captain calling plays. You have other players telling him where to go. They're completely not lined up correctly. It's just a mess. And Bevel really needs to go because he's just dragging down the team.
Appreciate the call. Now, I'll say this, Buck, last year, I don't think Miles had the coach-to-player communication in his headset. I think that's back this year.
Yeah, and that might be back because last year you had Joe Schobert. So Joe Schobert was able to handle all this stuff. And so more responsibility, more things that you have to do. I think we've had this conversation before. Sometimes with guys who are even veterans and outstanding players, when you add the communication piece or add more things to their plate, you might take away a little bit of like what they do really, really well. So Miles Jack might not be a guy who wants to be burdened with the responsibility of making the calls and the check and getting everybody lined up or what those things. So that's something that you'll take a look at during this 10-day period, which is in essence like a bye week. You can kind of redo that. I think the one thing that the caller brought up about DJ Chark is not necessarily the production that DJ Chark has brought right now. It's the memory of DJ Chark during his remarkable, 2019, where he had big numbers. People still remember his ability to make big plays down the field. And so when you read the advanced scouting report and your team is getting ready, you have to talk about Chark potentially being a guy to take the top off the defense. Safety, you need to stay back. Just lean towards the side to make sure we don't let the ball fly overhead. Well, now when you remove that option, there's not a fast guy on the field. And the field gets really, really small and tight and congested when you don't have anybody who can stretch it. So finding a field stretcher is the top priority. It's something that they'll certainly work through all weekend.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, the connection hadn't been perfect. They only connected on 3 of the 12 attempts that went to DJ in the first game, Bucky. But DJ Chark on his 7 catches was averaging 22 yards a catch. So clearly he was a guy that was stretching the field when they did get in sync. And just having, like you said, that threat of him out there makes you defend this team differently, whether you think Darrell Bevel was utilizing it properly or not. You can't ignore 20-plus yards of reception.
Like, Dem, just to think about it this way, normally when I'm looking at wide receivers for the draft, when I see numbers that are 16, 17 per catch, that is a big play artist. So to think about someone averaging 22 yards per catch, that means they're delivering some 40-plus yard passes. They are finding a way to create home run plays. That is something that catches your attention as a defensive coordinator, that you have to be mindful of where Chark lines up at all times. And you're on the safety's head all week. Make sure we keep the ball in front, back up, stay over the top, lean his way. That removes people and clutter from the box. That allows James Robinson to have success running the football.
That allows Marvin Jones to operate in the intermediate area of the field as well.
Yes.
And I think he was, 3 targets tonight. He was at his least effective so far this season.
Rough one. The phone lines are open. 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. The Jaguars have dropped their 19th game in a row. 24-21 the final. More of your calls when we come back. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
It's not kickoff without the small places that make Jaguars game day big. That's why Crown Royal is turning game day into giving day by supporting communities that serve us off the field. Nominate a local community hero to win the ultimate Jaguars game day experience at jaguars.com/Crown Royal promotion. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And what's better than saving up to $5,000 in closing costs when you buy or refinance a home? With a ViStar no closing costs mortgage, you'll get a great rate, no hidden fees, and like the name says, no closing costs up to $5,000. If you believe saving money is better, join ViStar. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Offer not available on VA and FHA mortgages. For more information, visit ViStarCU.org.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back to the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks after a Jaguars loss in Week 4, 24-21, the final score, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. Mike?
Yes, despite the late hour, folks want to get in and get Bucky's thoughts on some of these situations.
Oh, so, it's not late in L.A. Bucky's just getting warmed up.
For him, it's not. Right. He's got a big night.
Make sure I plug in my computer so I don't lose any power.
All right, you got to have that. Got to have that.
We don't want you to dip out on us. Mike in Arlington. It's late for Mike, and he joins us here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Mike, you're on the air. Mike,
all right,
you're not on the air.
We gave him a shot. Let's keep it on the East Coast, but let's head up to Pittsburgh next. Rob checking in from Pennsylvania. Rob, you're on the air on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead.
Rob.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good, man. You're on the air. What's up?
Hey, what are your thoughts of maybe the Jaguars making a trade for like Allen Robinson, bringing him back, and what do you think it would cost? I mean, do you think Chicago would want too much? Or?
I don't know about that one.
I mean, that's a good one. So, like, here's the thing. So, happen to look at the free agent list because I believe the Jaguars need to find a number one receiver for Trevor Lawrence next year anyway, and a veteran would be preferred. So it's like Mike Williams will be available. Devontae Adams is available. He's probably going to get franchised. Allen Robinson is going to be available. And you just wonder, would there be any interest in bringing him back, big body receiver, and those things. But it's tough. It's tough, JP. I would think to secure Allen Robinson, it would take at minimum maybe a second-round pick to be able to get it done. But I would think that the veteran receiver would probably want assurances that he can get a long-term deal. And do you want to get into that money play that you have to pay for him to be around long-term? Because right now we're seeing that going rate anywhere from $15 to $20 million. And I think he'll probably fall in that $17 million deal. Are the Jaguars willing to pay that kind of money for a wide receiver?
Like they reportedly were offering him that kind of money when he was here the first time. I don't know what Allen Robinson would want to come back. Here's my issue with
part of that, though, is it's the cost of doing business. If you want a number one receiver,
sure,
it's going to cost you some money.
But think about it. We want our young quarterback to have a number one target. What do you think they want for Justin Fields up there in Chicago if he's playing for the rest of this year? Right? That offense was bad enough with Allen Robinson in it last week. Take him out, and you're giving Fields no shot for success from the Bears' perspective. I mean, we would like to have a guy like that come in. But I don't know if Chicago would be all that interested in making that move, Buck.
Yeah, I wonder, because here's the thing with Chicago. Like, if they loved him so much, they wouldn't let him get on the franchise tag or those things. You would think that they would have locked him up and kept him around and those things. There's something that's not right with Allen Robinson in Chicago, because he's in the last year of his deal. He hasn't gotten the extension that he wanted. And I will say this. Look, I don't think Matt Nagy's the greatest play caller, but I do know if I have a number one receiver like Allen Robinson, there's no way that he shouldn't be featured, particularly with the rest of the stuff that he's playing with. Allen Robinson should be a fantasy darling. Allen Robinson should be 10, 12 touches a game.
Until this year.
Know?
I mean,
until this year. So
I mean, seriously, right? He was a 100-catch guy last year, so it is kind of odd.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, thank you for the call. Obviously, I think the Jags will be combing the wire to see if they can add anybody through trade or street free agent pickup. Caleb on the south side next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Caleb.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Thank you.
I want to just make a couple positive points, man, because I love the Jaguars. I've loved them forever, and it's frustrating losing. But, man, Agnew is going to dominate highlight reels for 2 straight weeks now. I mean, he's been incredible. With Chark going out, I really think that Agnew could really help lift this offense up and help us, continue keeping better. And if we move Kayvon Austin to that return specialist role, I mean, I think we could manage with that. I think Dan Arnold, he went out there, made a few plays today, kind of made us feel good about the trade we made for him. I think he looked good. Those 2 catches he had for first downs were big, and we were so close to winning. That penalty from Herndon, I mean, this was his first game, I believe, coming off an injury.
Yes.
So I hope that maybe that was just something that we can coach him up on and not see that kind of a thing continue. We had so many penalties in week 1, and we've cleaned up so many of those. You have to call that, good coaching and good on the players for keeping their heads in the game for the most part. And I want to shout out Smoot, too. I saw him get, I think, a really good pressure, too, and I've always liked that guy. He's always kind of been hanging in there in the background, and Big Smoot did it today. I thought, we didn't get the sack there, but he was in Burrow's face a couple of times. And I just want to keep positive points going forward, because it's hard to do when you're 0-4, but it just does seem like we're getting better and better each week. So what do you guys think about that?
Sir, I want you to call us every postgame show. That's what I want.
We need some of that,
We need some
man.
Positivity in here. That's what I'm talking about, Bucky. And, there are some good things. The winning result's not there, obviously. I don't know if Jamal Agnew wants to give up the return specialist duties. He got him Special Teams Player of the Month in the AFC.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's moving from there at all. But, as it goes along, he's only played receiver for now a couple years. He hasn't really been a wide receiver that long. But if he keeps making plays like he did tonight, maybe he does.
Yeah, maybe. But I think the main thing that he offers is he's dynamic. I mean, he's a blue chip player in the return game. Like, that goes without saying. 2 returns in back-to-back weeks. We see the danger that he brings. And what I don't want to do is weaken the team in one area to have him be a 3rd or 4th option in another area. Yeah. Hey, man, let Tavon Austin, if you want to take those responsibilities, Tavon Austin can be the 3rd or 4th receiver and those things. But allow Jamal Agnew to continue to be a great returner, because that's the value. We've seen the impact that he makes in the kicking game. I don't know if I want to water that down maybe for a handful of touches on offense.
Fair enough. Let's come back in a moment. More of your calls. 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. We're here until about 1:15, and there will be a 5th quarter tonight. They'll take your calls deep into the early morning hours here on 1010XL. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Are you tired of not seeing clearly? As the official eye care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida Eye Specialists offers the safest, most effective technology to regain control of your sight. With 9 locations across Northeast Florida, our dedicated doctors have provided premier eye care to the community for more than 20 years. Call 904-564-2020 or visit FloridaEyeSpecialists.com to book an appointment with Jacksonville's most trusted eye care providers today.
Have you painted yourself for game day and dyed your pet's fur to match? Do you bleed your team's colors and deck your pet out in team gear? Do you plan game day watch parties for fellow sports lovers and their beloved pets? Do you find yourself nodding yes while listening to this with your 4-legged friend? Then you are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and die-hard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. That's why pet fanatics take their pets to Pet Paradise, the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if you haven't brought your pet in to see them yet, the only real question is, what are you waiting for? Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back to the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and your calls. 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. Final score on Thursday Night Football, 24-21. This was 14-0 at halftime. Could have been 17. Could have been 21-0. It was 14-0. And the Bengals scored every possession of the second half. All 4 possessions, they scored points, including a field goal at the final gun of 35 yards from Evan McPherson for the deciding factor in the game. So 24-21 the final. The Bengals are now a half game ahead in first place as of after tonight and before the games of this Sunday in the AFC North. They lead the way right now. The Jaguars are 0-4 after the loss in this one.
Yeah, Bengals playing well. They handled Pittsburgh, but they've had 3 close games otherwise, and they found a way to win 2 of them. And that's what you have to do to be considered a good team.
Good teams
Bucky,
can do that.
You got to win. It's funny. If you get the result, you end up having a good record, and then you're a good team, right? Because people say good teams find a way to win those games. What's the ones who find a way to win those games that we consider good teams? It's kind of like the chicken and the egg. But right now, I think you got to say Cincinnati has got a puncher's chance in that division right now, Buck.
They absolutely have a puncher's chance because I believe their offense is dynamic, and I think they got the right trigger man in Joe Burrow. You saw the problems that they were able to create on offense just with the skill level. Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon when he was available. They create problems. But I think what they also do, and I think Coach Meyer got an opportunity to see this up close and personal, I think he got a chance to see the kind of weaponry you need around a franchise quarterback. And so when I think about Trevor Lawrence and I think about year 2, what it could and should look like, I think there has to be a veteran wide receiver that's your number 1. When you have a young quarterback, you need a veteran wide receiver that knows what he's doing so they can build that trust. Young guys are tough. You can go and double up because I think you need to sign one as a free agent, and I think you need to draft another one because I think you need to have more firepower around Trevor Lawrence if you really want to max it out. You saw that with the Bengals. Tyler Boyd was their number one receiver. He was there. He's a veteran. They go and get Jamar Chase, adds to it, and they have another young guy in T. Higgins who didn't play tonight. So I think that blueprint is there. So Cincinnati has the firepower, and then they play hard on defense. You want to play hard on defense, you got to get a bunch of play hard guys. So they have that. It's working for them. They did a good job. That said, look, man, the last 2 weeks, the Jaguars have been in games with solid teams. It's just a matter of, can you learn how to win those games? And so there are 4 or 5 moments where the game is always decided. Can the Jaguars eventually learn how to win those 4 or 5 plays that ultimately decide the game?
All right, back to the lines. We go at 355 NFL 1. We've got Michael in Nassau County next up on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Michael.
Hey, so, I definitely think that we should have won this game tonight, but agreeing with Bucky, we definitely need a veteran wide receiver, which is why I don't think that losing DJ Chark is that big of a deal this year. I really view DJ as just at best a number 2. I think we should probably let him walk after this year. And with the money that we have, we go after a guy like Chris Godwin and A-Rob, or if Aaron Rodgers leaves, maybe a Devontae Adams. Maybe we can lure him with Trevor, but I like what I see every week. I wasn't expecting this team to go to the playoffs. I like that I'm seeing progress every single week, and this week they have looked better than they did last week. So that's all I can ask for as a Jaguar fan.
Appreciate the call. Thank you very much. What do you think?
Man, I like the positivity. I like a very rational take. I feel like he was well thought out. He understands that part of it. I will say this about the Jaguars. They do look like they're improving each week, and the team does look like they're playing hard. It can be discouraging as fans to sit here and see the close losses, but the team seems undeterred by their record. When you hear them talk, they're saying the right stuff. I think the biggest thing that Coach Meyer can tell the team is, we're going to turn the corner. The thing that I can't tell you is when we're going to turn the corner, when we're going to have the landmark game that kind of flips it around. From a personal experience, in college, man, Mac Brown, when I was in school in North Carolina, 2-20. Those first 2 years he was there, we were 1-10 my freshman year. And it was about having a moment that second year where, okay, you win a game and then it kind of starts the momentum and going. And I think what Urban needs, man, one, for himself, they need a win, but 2, so that they can see that all the work that they're putting in is going to net the results that they want at the end.
All right, Michael, we appreciate the call. Let's go to the South Side. Tony, you're next up here on the Scoreboard Show with Brookie Brooks. Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, I appreciate you guys taking my call. Look, what's important to remember here is that we're getting better. We're not the team that we were last year. We have a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach, right? And every game that we have played has been better than the last before it. All right, we almost won tonight against a team that potentially has playoff potential, right? We lost on a field goal at the end of the game. So at the end of the day, the thing we have to remember as fans is that we're trending in the right direction. Things are going good. We're getting better, and don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Like we're going to be better next week. There's a chance that we could go in and we could win a division game next week. So let's not lose faith. Let's stay strong, and let's remember that, hey, we're not the team we were last year. We have a quarterback that we can rely on. We have a running back we can rely on. And, yeah, we have to get better at some skill positions, but at the end of the day, guys, we're right there. We're right at the corner. So let's not lose faith, and let's keep it going. What do you guys have to say about that?
Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for chiming in tonight. I think that's 3 consecutive positive calls. I think we've entered the twilight zone on Friday morning. The twilight zone has arrived, which is a good thing, though. I mean, it's another positive call, Mike.
If the success, Bucky, is a linear path, right? Like it has been. Like week 1 to week 2, improvement. Week 2 to week 3, definite improvement. Week 3 to week 4, should have won this football game. That's the way you're feeling. And if you can continue that forward momentum, that's great. But in sports, it doesn't always work like that, right? You get to that point, and then maybe you get knocked back in the next week for a couple of weeks. So if we can believe that it's going to continue to be progress, then yeah, we're knocking on the door of doing some great things. But you let these opportunities go by the wayside. These may be the best 2 opportunities you have to win a football game the last 2 weeks that you might have for the next 2 months. You just don't know.
Oh, damn.
I'm sorry.
Damn,
reality.
You're so good. We've been so positive.
Reality.
So positive.
Now we're back to normal. Here we are.
Reality, man.
You doused all the positivity right there.
The glass was half full, Bucky. He just threw the water right out of the glass. He said, "Forget it."
He just threw it.
Maybe this will be the one team in sports history that continues to get better a little bit every single week. There you go.
Incrementally.
Positivity.
Small thing.
There you go.
Now, I will say this. The first part of the schedule was the opportunity that the Jaguars needed to get a win or 2. Like, I think if we go back and look at how we probably looked at the season and the way it would unfold, I'll be honest, I'm guilty. I chalked up the Houston Texans as a dub. I thought that was a win.
Yeah.
And I thought I pointed to this game as another one that was a winnable game. And so, optimistically, I would say, like, at their best, they could be 2-2 based on the stretch. Now, the next series of games, a little tougher to envision a win coming. So this, you never know though, any given Sunday, but it's a little tougher. And so the pressure will also continue to mount as people talk about the streak, right? The streak that everyone likes to talk about, the losing streak. So that begins to escalate and you do all those things. And so it becomes a tougher road the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, you don't want to be the opponent that becomes the team that they broke the streak against,
That's
right? So no, instead of being a bad team that people overlook, you're a team that hasn't won a game that everybody gets up for to make sure that they're not that team that breaks that streak.
Yeah, it's a different deal. It's a different deal, man. And you're just trying to scratch and claw, and that's why it hurts so much when you lose a game like this, because this is one that you could legitimately say, like, man, we should have won this game.
Yep.
Like, the game was right there. Everything that you want, start fast, have a lead, play from ahead, all the other stuff. So this is a tough one. It'll take a little while to get over this one.
Let's take our final timeout. We'll come back in just a moment. We'll wrap it up with our final thoughts. Coming up at about 1:15, it's the 5th quarter. They'll take your calls for, how long will they go?
2 hours.
2 more hours.
Oh yeah.
Hackers.
Night shift.
2 hours.
Hackers getting the energy drinks in tonight. Your phone calls coming up. We'll wrap it up after this. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk. Checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk. Checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
This is Chantel Chark, wife of DJ Chark. Enter for your chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience with the Jaguars. Imagine being selected as a Jaguar for the day with prizes including a behind-the-scenes tour of the stadium, a personalized Jaguars jersey, club-level tickets to a Jaguars home game, and more. Look for details at Publix, where you can pick up all your game day needs, including Tide, Bounty, and Crest. Tackle everything in one stop. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hard Rock Sportsbook is coming to Florida. Join the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Hard Rock for safe, trusted, and completely legal sports betting. Go to hardrocksportsbook.com to get all the latest details leading up to launch. Play remotely from anywhere in Florida, including on your phone or computer or in person at Seminole Casinos. Want great promotions like free bets, odds boosts, and bonuses? Hard Rock Sportsbook will have all your favorite bets and promotions. Hard Rock Sportsbook, the best place to be a Jaguars fan. Coming soon. Must be at least 21 and physically present in Florida to wager. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-800-522-4700.
At ViStar, we believe in better. better convenience, so members can bank any way they want, whether it's at a branch, on a mobile device, or at one of more than 20,000 surcharge-free ATMs across North America. Because we believe that people have better things to do with their time. If you believe that convenience is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome in, final segment of the Scoreboard Show. If you didn't get in here, you can get in on the fifth quarter show. We got a couple more calls to get in, though, Mike.
We do. Let's hit them in rapid-fire succession. Let's go to Matt on the south side on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Hi, Matt.
Goodbye, Matt.
That's rapid fire right there. All
Next.
right. How about we'll keep it on the south side and give Josh a shot at it. Josh on the south side, you're on the air.
Hey, fellas. It's a hard loss, real hard loss. But honestly, you see the progression the team is making. Trevor Lawrence is taking better care of the ball. The defense has come on a lot stronger, less penalties, no turnovers. The only thing I can say is defensively, players, it seems like one player isn't progressing as far as we thought he would, and that's Campbell. It's like every time he makes a play, he won't turn his head for the ball. They picked on him constantly tonight, and this is the second week. I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do and replace him. I'm sorry, but he's not what we thought he would be. And I know it might be rookie. They keep saying rookie. Eventually, you have to overcome the rookie labeling and do something to show you're progressing. It seems like he's in the same position week to week to week, and they're picking him apart every week.
All right, Josh, thank you. Bucky, what do you say? I mean, I think we've recognized that.
I'm not ready to throw Tyson Campbell away. No. I think you have to work with him. I think you have to spend extra time on the practice field trying to work on some of those techniques so he can play the ball and come downhill and do all that other stuff. I just think, look, man, when you're a losing team, you're just looking for anything and everything, just trying to be positive, trying to create a spark and all that other stuff. So just need players to make plays. I mean, that's as simple as, that's the only way to get yourself out this rut.
There's no alternative available.
No,
there's no one to turn to.
He's the guy.
With Tyson Campbell.
Let's
mean,
go.
right?
Second round pick. Let's go.
Right.
Let's play.
Just got to do it. And
Play
some
through
of these are growing pains, and as long as he doesn't look like he's broken by giving up the number of plays he's given up, he's going to be fine. Like eventually the light will come on, and maybe comes on mid-season, maybe comes on three-quarters of the season, but at some point he'll be like, oh, okay, this is how I'm supposed to lock it down, or this is how everything relates and correlates and happens. So we'll see.
Hope sooner rather than later.
I'm sitting here and looking at the screen, and C.J. Uzomah's on the thing. I'm like, oh.
We just sent him to the Pro Bowl tonight.
Oh, Uzomah just out here. Who's your daddy?
Just running past Miles Jack. All right. One more. We got Derek in St. Augustine at 355 NFL 1. Derek, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike. Hey, JP. Bucky. How you doing?
Hey, man.
Good, buddy.
Good.
I just want to shout out to Trevor Lawrence tonight. I mean, he did good. He took care of the football. I think the team did good overall. We just need figure out how to put four quarters together. It's just we go through this. It was actually going to aggravate me if we won tonight because 2-2 in the division was looking pretty good. If we pulled it out, if we pulled the win out against Arizona last week. So, Yeah, I think they're on the right track, and and to get too crazy about that we were going to go to the playoffs this year. What there'll be time for that. There'll be time for that.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, I think on this one, Buck, this offense, they had just given up. The defense had given up 2 touchdowns to start the second half. Tied the game. It was 14-0 at halftime. It's tied. The world is spinning. Oh, gosh, what's going on? The offense comes back out and puts together a fantastic drive there. They go, 11 plays, 5.5 minutes, and score a touchdown. That was a huge point in the game for that offense to come out and answer that.
Yeah, no, it was big. And so it's the little things that you're talking about, the little battles that you see, little parts of the team play and engage in and win, supporting one another. That stuff is all terrific. And what we have to do is just continue to build upon the positive things that we saw. Try not to torch the entire franchise. Build upon what's there. Maybe you can find a player or two, but you don't want to do anything that's crazy.
I think my final thought is something Tony Smith told us on a break, just kind of put into perspective that you can recognize the improvement. There has been week-to-week improvement here, and you can recognize that and point it out, and you can still be frustrated that this is the big leagues. And at a certain point in time, improvement's not enough if it doesn't result in a W. So on the one hand, I'm encouraged by some things that they're getting better at, but I am frustrated when they've had 2 winnable games in a row that I feel like they've let the other team off the hook. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive, Buck. You can recognize how they're getting better, but at the same time, want that to nobody's saying they're going to win 10 and get to the postseason here. Got to win some along the way here, though.
You got to win some games. You got to put some dubs on the board. You can't finish 2 and whatever 15 or struggling to get the kickoff. Like you got to be able to boot it. And so we got to make sure we get the right guys going and covering and doing all these other things, because it's hard to win games in the National Football League. The margin for error for the Jaguars is razor thin. We got to make sure we do all the right things.
Next week, Tennessee Titans come to town. The Titans visit the Jets this Sunday. So Tennessee, you better strap them up for that one, Bucky, with Derrick Henry and his ponytail and his drawstrings flapping and all that. You gotta hit him early and often.
Yeah, you got to get him early and often. He's a folk hero, so it's going to be an interesting ride to hear him talk about Urban and all kinds of other stuff, because only he can kind of picture what took place.
That's right. All right, Bucky. Appreciate it. Thank you for the time tonight, and we'll talk to you as this week goes along. Have a great weekend, I guess, without Jaguar football. It's going to be a mini bye week, and we'll talk to you.
I know, a mini bye week. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, Buck. Thanks for the time. Bucky Brooks out of here. Thanks for all the calls tonight. We really appreciate it on the Scoreboard Show. Coming up next, the 5th quarter, Hacker and Company standing by. I think Andrew Gibson's there tonight, too.
Yep, Big Gibby.
They'll be there till 3:30, they said?
And I think right after that, it's Jaguars Today.
Right.
In close proximity to that.
On that note, we'll get off the air now. Our thanks to Trent Padilla, our entire Jaguars.com crew, Tony Smith, Linda Fortunato, Joe Fortunato. For Mike Dempsey, I'm JP Shadrick. Final score, Bengals 24, Jaguars 21. This has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.